Welcome to the Athletic Brewing Post-Race Report. I'm Marina Carfrey alongside Matt Lieto. The ISUZU IRONMAN South Africa African Championship was the second stop on the 2025 Ironman Pro Series, and the pros delivered a great day of racing. Let's take a look at the highlights.
And it definitely, you saw Jamie Riddle right in the middle in that pink cap. Riddle in the middle going as fast as he could to try to make some dreams come true at his hometown race. All these athletes swimming hard and fast. Calm conditions very early on, and then it turned not calm. And Jamie Riddle on his back, as we often see him, seeing what's happening behind, pushing that pace. But in the end, it was Martin Van Riel that was able to get out of that swim first, get a little gap on the end. Had a little bit of a slip up going up the stairs, but was able to manage and get to the bike first, get his helmet on, and get out onto that Zoot bike course.
And we had Jonas Stromberg we had that one little mishap early in the bike, but Jonas Stromberg pushing the early kilometers of the bike and getting out front.
Yeah, and it's, with a lot of different action early on. Can't remember, couldn't get a number on this
Chevalier
athlete early. And then there was that athlete on the side of the road. We got Mike Phillips in the back of this chase group. A long line of athletes were together for a bit early, but it didn't stay together for too long, as this course and the conditions and the quality of the athletes really started to separate this field.
Yes, we had Collins in the front of this huge pack of men, but again, the pack started to splinter fairly early. The course very windy and undulating, a small climb early in the bike. Back Martin Van Riel pushing the pace early, trying to make up as much ground as possible, but the Great Dane Magnus Ditlev rolling through the field in the first half of the bike.
Yeah, and you had Martin Van Riel holding off him as long as he possibly could throughout the bike ride. We had a lot of different athletes, taking their chances to try to be up at the front of the course as much as possible. And again, we still had our early leaders really pushing that pace on the bike, and then we saw Magnus Ditlev at the front chasing Martin Van Riel, and at a certain point he kind of just sat there, let Martin set the pace, and then later on took it to Van Riel and Schoenberg as well. And then it wasn't too long until the Great Dane found open road and just kept pushing that pace.
Yeah, Matthias Ditlev taking his time to get to the front there, but then making the boys work for it. Was able to get away at around 90 to 100 kilometers into the bike race. So a lap and a half in, he was able to get away and ride by himself for the rest of the bike ride.
Yeah, and the rough conditions of the road and the wind was nothing that was going to deter Magnus Ditlev from pushing the pace, even probably encouraging him more than anything else, and getting safely into the Ruby T2, getting off before that dismount line, and finding himself first in the transition and out on the run course, while Schoenberg and Van Riel not too far behind,
right,
but about five or six minutes back, and starting that run together.
Yeah, Stromberg and Van Riel around 6 minutes back, but Magnus Ditlev out on the run course a mile into the run before these men hit pavement. Martin Van Riel making quick work of the opening kilometers, looking phenomenal. But Jonas Stromberg hanging tough too.
No, absolutely, as was the leader, off to a fast pace, went through the half mark just a little bit over 1:15 for the half marathon, so it was really on pace, about a 2:31, 2:32 pace, a little over halfway, and slowed down a bit, but he was able to grab that tape first, and that is all that matters. Magnus Ditlev, a 7:44.54 finish time, run time of 2:40. Martin Van Riel not too far behind, Marinda.
Not too far behind, squeaked under that 2:40 zone, and now Stromberg in third place. And now we'll go and take a look at the Pro Women's recap. Women got underway at 6:35 a.m. local time, and they were fast and furious at the start of this swim. Marta Sanchez in the green cap, making quick work of the opening meters of this swim, and all alone in the front.
She really was, and that's how she was most of the day. And in rough conditions, it was impressive to see her continue to push that pace all on her own, with really nobody close behind. Chloe Lane doing her best to stay as close as possible. Marta Sanchez first on the dry land, and on to that Aussie exit and back in to the water for her second lap.
Yeah, she had the ocean all to herself for a moment there until she came through and passed a few age group athletes. Of course, the age group athletes starting after the professional women, and professional women coming around. And Marta Sanchez exiting the water in first place, swimming a 57-minute 28 seconds. Chloe Lane behind her. Marta getting that wetsuit down and making quick work of the Ruvi T1 and onto the Zoot bike course.
Yep, and straight out there, and a place that I would think she was hoping to be all by herself for all of the day. And she achieved that goal for most of it. It wasn't until the last few miles that she had company, but here early, riding smooth, comfortably in that aerodynamic position, putting all the competitors behind her, and not worried too much about what was going on behind. But what was happening behind was Anna Reichman was playing a little Miss Pac-Man and just chomping up the competitors behind her and working her way to the front of the group.
Yeah, Annie Reichman getting out of the swim in 7th position and making her way through the field, making quick work of the field. We also had...
I think we had Anna Bergstrom work through the middle of the field there for a bit on that bike ride, having a nice ride midway through, finding herself in the top 5 there, but windy conditions, kind of cream would rise to the top, and that was Anna Reichman moving her way through the field on this 3-lap bike course.
Yes, Anna Reichman, just textbook cycling here today. We also had Chloe Lane sitting in second for a majority of this bike. Chloe Lane from Australia, she hopped out of the water in 2nd place behind Marta Sanchez and held strong in 2nd place through the 2nd lap until disaster hit a flat tire, and then a CO2 that was malfunctioning, which meant she had to sit on the side of the road and wait for neutral support to come and rescue her. Lost 20 minutes, unfortunately.
Yeah, not what you want to see out there. Not what Marta Sanchez wanted to see either. That's Anna Reichman passing her at a great rate of speed just in the final kilometers of the bike course here, and was able to just have a small little gap on Marta Sanchez going into Ruvi T2.
Marta Sanchez just coming in behind Annie Reichman. Both ladies entering transition at the same time, but Annie Reichman was out onto the Hoka run course first, looking good, shaking off those bike legs and making these opening kilometers look easy. And Katrin Greaseball Christensen off the bike in 3rd place. Katrin making her way through the bike field and getting off in 3rd, running very well in the opening kilometers.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a battle out there, and Anna Reichman pushing that pace early, looking perfect, looking smooth, looking metronomic, and held that pace as best she could all the way through to the end of the 26.2 miles. great win by our champion Anne Reichman to get that ISUZU Ironman South African Championship.
And then Marta Sanchez finishing in second place there, and Greaseball Christensen finishing in third.
Now let's take a look at the men's results. First place, we had Magnus Ditlev, dominant performance, getting him 5,000 points for the Ironman Pro Series. Martin Van Riel, not too far behind. In second, Jonas Schoenberg, rookie Ironman, able to get good points, qualify for World Championship, and third position.
Local boy Jamie Riddle taking fifth place. A great performance from the young athlete here today.
And we saw Florian Enger. We haven't seen his name in the top of a big race in a long time, but good to see him back in ninth place in the top 10 with Milos Sawinski in 10th place.
And on the women's side, we had Annie Reichman taking that title in maximum points. We had Marta Sanchez second place here today, and Katrin Greaseball Christensen taking the third step on the podium.
Yep, Maya Stage Nielsen held strong, finishing top 5, one of our top performers Ironman Pro Series last year. Charlene Clavel finishing up in 7th place. Chloe Lane had some bad luck early on the bike ride, but was able to finish up in top 10 for a great performance for her. Thanks so much. This has been the Athletic Brewing Post-Race Report.